Hello, welcome back. In our previous class, we have looked at one of the data visualization for categorical data, that was frequency distribution tables. And we have discussed into details how frequency distribution tables help us to analyze data descriptively. We have talked about frequency distribution tables showing counts, percentage, and also cumulative percentages. We have created frequency distribution table in Excel, not Excel, sorry, in SPSS. And we have also discussed how we can arrange our data in descending orders in frequency distribution tables in SPSS. In this class, we are going to look at the second data visualization technique for categorical data, pie chart. Pie chart, we can also call it circle chart, is the type of chart that displays count, fraction, or proportion of item in category against the wall. This is what I mean. For example, if I have gender variable which has male and female, and also with another item or another category of the people who are not preferring to say, I can have three categories in that case for that variable, that is male, female, prefer not to say. Now I want to know what percentage, what fraction, what proportion of my entire data who have responded are not preferring to say their gender, or what percentage of my population is female. This is very important. For example, again, if you are dealing with, let's say, market share, I want to know, for example, banking industry in Kenya, how many people are banking with Equity Bank, how many are banking with KCB, a cooperative bank, and so on. These proportions gives me the idea of what percentage of subcategory or what percentage of item in the category makes what percentage in the entire population. And since we are saying pie chart is a circle chart, then you know circle makes up to 360 degrees. So the entire population will make 360 degrees. And we are also saying this data that we are representing in this circle makes up 100%. So calculation for pie chart, the first thing is to, of course, your data have to be categorical data. The first thing is to get a count for each categories. For example, if I have male, female, prefer not to say, I have to give male this number, female this number, prefer not to say this number. That is the first step. The next step would be to calculate the total. Of course, when you are adding male, female, prefer not to say, for the people who have responded to this variable, you get the total. Now you have the count for each of the categories. You have the total of the respondent to this specific variable. The next thing is to calculate the percentage for each category. This is simple. You just say count for a specific category, divide by the total, times 100, and you get the percentage. The next step would be to convert each category into degrees. This is again the same. You get the count for the specific category, you divide it by the total population who are responded to this question, and now you multiply by 360 degrees so that you get the degrees for the people in this specific category. After having the percentage, after having the degrees, the next thing would be to draw your circle and start creating your pie chart. And we say when you start creating or drawing this pie chart, you start from up there, right up. Now you have to, of course, from the center of the circle, you have a line that goes up until it touches the circle. And from there now you start going clockwise direction. When you go in clockwise direction, now you also have to arrange your data into descending order, so that the first portion, the first slice of your circle have to be the one with the highest degree and going around. The next step after having your slices is now to color each slices the way you want it to be. For example, you can say green to represent male, blue to represent female, and maybe yellow to represent prefer not to say. After having drawn your circle, gotten the slices shaded, now you have to annotate your graph so that a reader will be able to get the real representation of each of these slices. Then now you say this green to represent this blue to represent this, and this yellow to represent these other values. The next thing would be, of course, I've given again the calculation here of the pie chart. Then where do we use the pie chart? Demonstrate each element contribution to the whole. So when we want to see the contribution of each element to the whole, we use a pie chart. Again, compare contribution of different categories to whole. Here what I mean, for example, you want to combine female and those who prefer not to say, what percentage of the entire population is this part is making. So in that case, now you are combining two categories and to see what contribution do they have to the whole. Common uses of pie chart. Where do we usually use pie chart? To represent growth areas in business. For example, if you want to see the department, the team, the activities that generate most profit for the company, you can use pie chart. When you look at the market share, as I've already discussed, what percentage of the market is being taken by KCB Bank, Equity Bank, and so on. To identify and display the contribution of different marketing strategies and tools. To represent sales data. To show performance of project tools, strategies, or individuals. Again, to demonstrate employee behaviors, you can apply pie chart. Advantages: it is easy and simple to understand. Again, as we have already seen, simple to draw, and it gives a quick analysis to our data, and also can be shared quickly with anyone who has no technical background in data analysis. Right, those are the advantages. What are the disadvantages, or when do we are not able to use pie chart? We cannot use pie chart when we have a lot of categories. There is no convention, but when your categories is past 6, then it is bad idea to create a pie chart, because you are going to have a lot of slices and it can become very much confusing. When the values or percentage of data categories are very close, this is what I mean. For example, if male, female, and so on, when their percentages are very close, you cannot even differentiate the size of the slices. For example, one having 51, another one having 52. Then it will become difficult again to look at the graph and see how the data is proportioned. When the percentage do not add up to 100%, this is, for example, when participants are allowed to choose more than one answer, then you don't expect the data to be, or the percentage to be adding to 100%. This is the case that we have discussed in data entry, where we have said you cannot, maybe a respondent can respond in multiple ways. Where have you learned about an SSF? They can say, I have learned from radio, at the same time I've learned from newspaper. When you want to visualize data over a period of time, so pie chart is not good in representing a time series data. So those are the disadvantages. Now in our next class, we have to create this pie chart in SPSS, and these are the few steps that you can take, or if you have already done the the importation of data, then we can go to SPSS and create a pie chart for fuel, gear, and offer type. See you while creating pie chart in SPSS. Thank you for joining. Enjoy learning.